Well, yesterday, a detective admitted in court that no evidence has been found to contradict the athlete's version of events, that he shot his girlfriend dead at his home on Valentine's Day after mistaking her for an intruder. Mr. Pistorius was said to be calmer than on previous days when he wept uncontrollably, and his family said they were satisfied with the outcome of the day's proceedings. If denied bail, the athlete could face months in jail before a full trial is held later this year.
Alone, head bowed and sobbing at times, South Africa's Olympic hero Oscar Pistorius' second day in court ended after a series of rigorous arguments between prosecution and defence. The detective leading the murder investigation alleged a witness heard non-stop shouting and that 2 containers of testosterone and needles were found in the Paralympian's bedroom.
Understanding the exact circumstances of Reeva Steenkamp's murder requires careful study of the layout of Oscar Pistorius' home. For the prosecutor, there's compelling evidence it was premeditated murder, while the defence remains adamant the athlete shot his girlfriend when he mistook her for a burglar. On the second day of Pistorius' bail hearing, police told the Pretoria court that witnesses heard a woman screaming and gunfire coming from the athlete's home on Valentine's Day. In an attempt to shred the police case, the defence stressed that the witness was several hundreds of metres away from the residence. The athlete's attorney want their client released on bail. It's a case which has gripped the public's interest.
It was another highly emotional day at Pretoria's Magistrate Court as Oscar Pistorius faced the second day of his bail application hearing. At the centre of the arguments today, police were called on to go through their evidence that they had put forward to the court. They had laid an additional charge this morning of possessing unlicensed ammunition. They say it was found in Oscar Pistorius' house. They also said that they found a substance which they labelled testosterone. But the defence came out and queried the police, and the police detective on stand, Police Detective Bolter, admitted that he did not write down the name of the substance. It was a much longer name. It didn't actually say testosterone. The defence arguing that in fact it was a herbal remedy. Police were also questioned about the fact that they said that no phone calls had been made on 2 phones found inside the house the morning of this. They're saying that they're using it to tarnish Oscar Pistorius' claims that he did call police, that he did call ambulances. They were asked again about perhaps there was another phone. They admitted that there was, but they did not have possession of that.
You have to consider the layout of this apartment to understand the competing views of what happened here. This is Oscar Pistorius' view. He says he and his girlfriend were in bed when he got up in the middle of the morning, the early hours of darkness there, and went out to the balcony to close a window and bring in a fan. Unbeknownst to him, she got up and went into the restroom. When he came back into the dark room, he says he heard a noise over here and feared a break-in. So he grabbed his pistol, he ran on into the bathroom here, began yelling out for the intruder to leave and to warn his girlfriend back in bed, then shot through the door. Only after he came back and realized she was gone did he think, no, I must have shot her. He ran and grabbed a cricket bat to smash down the door and start yelling for help and to bring her back. That is his version of events. But now, think about where the evidence was, think about the layout of this apartment, and listen to the prosecution's version, because it is different. They're saying that essentially the evidence from neighbors hearing a fight and everything else, as the prosecution would put it, suggests there was some kind of ongoing dispute for quite some period of time, at which point she went into the restroom and locked herself in. Then he came around here and either used the cricket bat to try to smash the door down to get at her, or whatever the case may be, and ultimately pulled out his pistol and shot through the door in an attempt to kill her. That is essentially the difference between the two stories. There are a lot of details involved, but the bottom line is when you look at the evidence and the layout of the room, the prosecution says there's nothing in their version that directly controverts Oscar Pistorius' version. And that's going to be the huge challenge as this goes to trial.
Well, it's brought, a whole lot of issues to light. Firstly, I think as far as affecting the prosecution case, it will be interesting to see whether he is pulled off the investigation. That decision hasn't yet been made, but regardless of whether he is or not, that would be much more damaging. This has done nothing to sort of bolster the confidence that members of the public will feel in the police investigation, because, all of yesterday morning we heard this detective, Hilton Buta, giving his evidence. It was very damning. It seemed crucial to the prosecution case, and as that evidence was delivered, Oscar Pistorius just seemed to slump lower and lower, getting deeper and deeper into his chair, and his friends and family looked really quite distraught. But in the afternoon, when the defence really dismantled that evidence and went at Detective Botha, bit by bit, in quite a compelling address, his defence lawyer took the state prosecution's case apart and made this detective look really quite bad.
The brother and sister of Oscar Pistorius listened with some relief as the magistrate asked the policeman whether he really believed an athlete so well known as their brother, with a face widely recognised internationally and using prosthetics, would really try to flee South Africa. There was laughter in the court as Mr. Botha said yes, prison's no joke, he said. The athlete's father, Henke, allowed himself a small smile and a nod at this question. And Oscar Pistorius' friends and supporters emerged believing events had gone their way.
I'm relieved.
But behind the scenes, the Pistorius family say the athlete is suffering.
He tried to control himself in court, but to listen to this, what happened over and over again, it's a painful experience for me, just to sit and listen to this. And so Oscar will survive.
This has turned into a trial within a trial, and it split South Africa.